Hey planner friends, today in this video I am going to show you what is working and what is not working in my planner. I'm going to go through each section and I'm going to see whether or not I am currently utilizing what I have, or if I'm not utilizing it and if I need to take it out of my planner. So let's get started. I like to do this when if I have like a planner funk and say I'm not picking up my planner like I should. Well, there's usually a reason for that, and it's because something in my system isn't working for me. Now, that's not exactly the case of why I'm doing this today, but there are a few things in here that I did notice that I'm not utilizing as much, and some things that I want to change around. So we are going to start by right here. These are my reoccurring task flags. I love these so much. Now, there are a few in here that I don't necessarily use, but I really don't want to take them out. I don't think it's necessarily hurting the system at all. So I'm just going to leave these here for the most part. I do use a good bit of these. So we're going to leave that part alone. And then these are just sticky notes that I have, you know, if I just need something really quick. So all my deco is still here. And my Happy Mail little Post-it, because it is adhesive, that is from May Paper Co. That's fine. I have this annual calendar that I made in Canva. I wanted something, I had an insert in my personal rings planner for one of these, and I knew that I wanted to get a annual bills tracker in here somewhere. So I just created this with just enough that I could fill it up and have an extra one if need be. And I printed it on sticker paper and just cut it down, and I put it on one of the papers that came with the planner that I didn't necessarily need. This part right here is one of the things that I am having difficulty utilizing. Now, I loved this when I made this. I think I first made this when I had my personal rings planner, and I migrated that over here to this system. At that point, I was utilizing this. I really was using this part. But honestly, I haven't really touched it in probably a month and a half. Could actually be longer than that. And I'm thinking that the reason why could possibly just be the placement of where this inbox is. Maybe I need to put it somewhere closer to my week so that I'm seeing it a little bit more. And the other option is that it's just currently not working. In my weeks, I have this little divider, and it pretty much holds everything that I would probably put here. And I'm thinking maybe that's why I'm not using this, because I kind of technically already have it over here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be taking this out or if I'm just going to leave it in and maybe move it and try and see if I can utilize it that way. And if I just can't, then it's very easy to take in and out, and maybe I'll just use it at some other point. The task reminders. This I am learning to utilize. It's not something that I've formed a habit to keep going back and looking at. And partly, I think the reason why I'm not really using it that much is because the list here that I grabbed, I'm pretty sure this was Plan with B, but the list that I grabbed was just a random one. I didn't really look at what like the details of the trigger list was, and so I would say probably 90% of these I don't even need. I'm not, where is it? It's like water plants and stuff. I can't do that. I unfortunately do not do well with plants. So a lot of these things on here, I'm not going to do because they're not for me. So I'm thinking what I can do is find one that is more tailored to me, and then you just print it and put it over this one. So I think that's going to be the solution for the tasks. This is working just fine. This is just a reference page to the school dates. Now I will say, when I do this again, when I have my new planner in 2026, I think I'm going to leave this out of the planner itself, and I think I'm going to put it in the notebook. I tend to reference more information in here anyways, but for right now, we're just going to leave it as is, and it's completely fine. This is a calendar that I cut down from Personal Rings, so it's originally an insert cut down, and I believe I just glued it on a page in here. So my thought process was that I would take this calendar and do a 2026 future reference, because my planner ends in June of 2026, and so if I'm getting school dates, our school technically starts in July, well then at least I'll have a place to put those things. That's why that's not filled out currently, because we're still a little too far for those types of dates. But I do like this, and I'm going to be keeping this in here and transferring that to the next planner that I get. The monthlies, as you can tell, when I first started, I was nothing but pen and highlighter. These are color coded, so I know whose doctor's appointments and ortho appointments, who all that belongs to. That was working out just fine. And then in August, I started to use a little bit more stickers, because let's face it, I have a tremendous amount of stickers that need to be used. So I just decided to start implementing those in my planning system. And so far, I think I really like it. So this is a few stickers here and there for a weekly, turned out great. And as I went on, I had a few more stickers and adding more and more. I have found the way that I like to plan in this planner with this layout. I haven't deviated from the habits up here. I really wanted to utilize that space because it already was blocked off in this planner. So using this space is perfect for me. I will not be changing that anytime soon. I find a want to open up my planner just so I can mark these off at the top. And because they're inside of my weekly, I see them. Like in my rings planner, I think I had it towards the front, and I would reference them, but not as much as I would just coming to the week that I'm already in, and they're already there. So that part I'm keeping. I'm not going to be changing that. I'm getting more stickers. This is the September monthly. The finance portion of this, if I can flip to this, there is the finance section, and I keep the finance section right before the monthly that we're in, so I can reference it when I need it, because everything is for that specific month. This is working phenomenally. I just did a video on the post-it notes. Everyone's wanting to see what my thought process is with that, and I can make a completely different video for that. But right now, this part of my system is working out pretty well. I reference this daily. I just want to make sure that I'm keeping up with my spending. The October monthly overview is something that comes towards the end of the month. So we just got into October, so I did the September at the end of September, worked out exactly the way that I needed it to, and set me up for the next month. Auto bill amounts and the calendar that tells me what and when it is being taken out and with which paycheck that they're going to be coming out of. That was probably my favorite part, because if you're not keeping track of that, it's hard to remember if you're getting, paychecks like we are, which part of the month are these things coming out of and which paycheck are they going to be coming out of. That way you can see an overview and you already know what the balance is going to be once they're all taken out, and you don't really have to worry about, having the extra money at the end of the month. And then the paydays, which is just a simple payday post-it, and I just mark off once we're done with each payday. And that works out just fine, and I can remove it when we're done with these and then get the next batch in. The check register, same thing. I don't write a lot of checks, but it's there just in case I need it, and I can reference it if need be. Let's see, what else do we have? The monthly calendar. I really enjoyed doing this month, particularly because I like to have the space up the top. So if I'm going to utilize this planner, I want to try to use the space that they already give me. So before I was putting the birthdays in the boxes, but I found that if I was going to continue to do that, because the boxes were already so small, it didn't really leave me with a whole lot of room to do anything else. So I thought, why don't I just grab this little space up here and use this for the birthdays, and then over here I wanted to have a section of monthly tasks that needed to get done so that it wouldn't just be lost in the overview of the month. So for example, I have to go get my driver's license renewed this month. So that is something that I absolutely do not need to forget, but I can go do it at any point in the month. So I don't have it on a specific day because I don't know when I'm going to be able to go do that. But because it's up here, I can see that, and I know I have to keep that in the back of my mind, make a day, and then just go do it. And the weeklies are exactly what I like them. I'm still trying to get used to all the sticker heavy parts of it, because it is a little bit more than so from back here when I didn't really have a whole lot, and then I'm just adding more and more stickers. Now, I like the functionality of it, and I still color code, which I haven't done in this week just yet, but I do color code everything, so it kind of helps me zone in on what task is for who, or what appointment is for who. And then my dashboard here, like I said, this is extremely helpful to me. It just has all the things that I need to see when I open up my weekly. I have this paycheck post-it, which is basically just a breakdown of what I need in the month. That's like priorities. These are things that absolutely have to be done. They have to be purchased. And then which paycheck of the month that I need to budget for those items. So I like keeping this in here so that I can see it whenever I open up my weekly, and that's pretty much numerous amounts of the day. Like I just open it up, I see what needs to be done. I have all of these things that need to be done today. Haven't even touched on a lot of these. So the meal plan and the groceries list tab, these things are amazing. I have got to order some more. I have ran out of pretty much all of them, but my meal plan is something that I knew I needed to have in my planner, and I didn't want to have it in a place where I couldn't reference it easily, because I need to know what we are having for dinner or what I need to cook. And so say I was gonna do pork chops, well, I needed to go and get those out of the freezer in the morning so that they would be defrosted. Something like that. It is very, I can utilize this in the way that I need, and it functions for me perfectly, because once I get done with the week and this meal plan and the groceries, I just take the post-it notes, mostly the meal plan. I will place it in the week that it was, and then I just move it into the next week. So that is working out phenomenally. So I'm going to be leaving that in my system. That is not going anywhere. Let's see, what else do we have? And I think I have my notes off to the side. So I'm looking at everything that I made notes on, just so that I wouldn't forget. Alright, so we are going to flip to the back. This is kind of just an index of a few things that I wanted to keep in the planner itself. I guess I could have put that kind of reference stuff in the notebook, but I had the planner long before I had the notebook, and these things needed to be in the planner, so I just went ahead and set it up that way. My next planner that I set up, most of these things will probably be set up in the notebook instead of in the planner itself. So the master cleaning list is something that I feel I utilize it, but I'm not utilizing it as much as I would like. I like the fact that I can take this little to clean and I can figure out what is the most pressing thing that needs to be done. And I can go and say, okay, well, I need to do the kitchen. And so it's pointing to the kitchen. These are just the things that kind of help trigger me, like, okay, well, the dishes, and I need to wipe the counters, and then we need to vacuum and mop the floors, those sorts of tasks. For right now, I'm going to leave this in here, but I'm not guaranteeing that this is going to be staying permanently. If I can find a different type of system that might help, maybe looking at it a little bit more, I guess I'm just gonna have to research and see if I can find something. But I guess for right now, you could say I'm only half utilizing it, but not enough for me to have to just remove it. The meals, so this is our family favorite meal bank. This is a must-have. This is something that goes in every single one of my planners. It has to be in there. I do meal plans every single week. I cannot fathom doing groceries and just, not having a plan whatsoever. You don't know what meats you're getting. You don't know what ingredients or what sides you need. I have to have a dedicated meal plan for the week, regardless of whether I actually fix the meals. I mean, I typically do, but there may be a few that I just don't, and we just pass on to the next week. But this is utilized, highly utilized. This is going to be staying where it is. Now, the only thing that I can think of is that I probably just need to do a refresh on this, because there's a lot of meals on here that my kids are just like, you know what, I don't think we're gonna eat that anymore. So and then there are a few more meals that I have created and I need to get in here, because I do forget about those things. If I don't have them written down, then I won't see them, so then I won't put them in the meal plan. So yes, this is highly utilized, and yes, that will be staying in my planner. And the last section of this, does it work or does it not work, is the post-it notes with the football schedule, the to watch, let me take this off, and my medication tracker, my daughter's medication tracker, and my husband's medication refills. This is fine. I utilize this. I like to have a reference of who we're playing and what time we're playing. That's fine. That probably won't change. This one I'm not really utilizing as much as I thought that I was going to. So I'm going to retry it one more time and see if I can just get myself to reference it. And then if not, I'm just going to take it out of here and not worry with it. And my medications, these are necessities. However, what I'm wanting to do is I want to transfer this information into the health log in the notebook. So I believe that is what I'm going to do to get them out of the planner. And then that way I still have them, but they're in the correct book and section that I need for reference, because I don't think it really needs to be in my planner anymore. So let me see if I can do this without showing everyone everything. And let's see, that's okay. So hers here, and then this one is for me, so that's gonna go back here. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll just take these and then I will just write them on the paper. But for now, I'm just going to stick those in there to get those off of here. And then same thing with this one. This is just the dates for medication refills I need to keep up with. And I'm just going to put that back here in the health as well. And then write it down later on. So I have my cheat sheet for my planning, and I mean that's pretty much it. So as far as the system itself, I feel like the system itself is still working for me, at least the main parts of my system. I will be seeing if this is going to be more utilized, and if not, it's totally fine. If it's not, and I'll just take it out, or I may see if I can move it up front somewhere where I can actually see it. I am going to get a different task reminders. I'm just going to put it over this one. I don't think that'll bulk it up too much, but the rest of this is pretty much working for me. I don't want to deviate from anything. And we're just going to keep most of it like it is. But yeah, I like to do that every now and then just to make sure that my system is working for me. So if there are any questions that you had, if you need any links to anything, please leave a comment for me. You can find me on Instagram as well. And I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.